The design of the database. The design is the process that I talked earlier about, where we define that conceptual schema. But in order to create a good design, we need to keep in mind some rules. These rules are called normal forms. There are several normal forms which we can use, but I'm only going to talk about the first three. So the first normal form is the one that excludes the repetitive groups. And I have an example. Here I took a table that stores data about books, and we have a column for ID, for title, for author, for nationality, and for subject. This subject means the subject the book is about. And in this subject column, we can see that there are three values: databases, SQL, and design. This is a repetitive group. We don't want to have more than one value for a single row in the table. So we have to split this table into three tables. One that contains the books. We only have one book, the SQL introduction book. And one that stores the subjects. We have three subjects, each subject with its own ID, databases, SQL, and design. And then we want to have a third table to make the connection between these two. So we will have the book with ID 101 that has subject ID 201, 202, and 203. Like this, we won't have any repetitive groups in any column. The second normal form tells us that all elements are functionally dependent on the primary key. In this example, I have the same book but in two different formats. You can see that I have the ID, title, author, nationality, and format. And while for the title SQL introduction we have the same author and the same nationality, the format is different. That means the format is not dependent on the primary key, and we have to split the table into two. One that contains the data about the book, the title, author, and nationality, and one that contains the formats, paper and digital. And we assign each format to the book we want, in this case 101. And the third normal form tells us that all elements that are not keys are mutually independent. I also took an example, this time with two books, SQL Introduction and BigQuery. Both are written by the same author with the same nationality, but the publisher is different. One is Penguin, one is Macmillan. In this example, we can see that for every book that Matei as author wrote, the nationality is the same. That means the nationality is dependent on the author. And we need to split the table into two. One with the authors, so that the author Matei appears only one time, and assign it an ID 401, and the table with the books, which will have an author column where we assign the author to the title. In this case, for both titles we have the same author, 401. And with this we finished the first section, and in the second section we will talk about fundamentals.